Live a life that is closer to more that you need, to more that you love, to make more moments that matter. Live a life that is better, where there's more fun with friends and neighbors together. SMDC, the good life. SMDC, the good guys give you. SMDC, the good life, a life with so much more here. There is so much more to love. There is so much more to see.
Hi everybody, good day, good afternoon everyone, and welcome to our webinar entitled Do More, Be More in the New Normal. This is brought to you by the Philippine Daily Inquirer's property section in partnership with prime property developer SMDC. So how's everybody doing? I certainly hope you're all feeling comfortable and enjoying the weekend, because today we are very fortunate to have with us an esteemed panel who will help our viewers better navigate and efficiently deal with the new normal while making the most out of this unprecedented crisis dealt by the COVID-19 pandemic. So without further ado, let's get things started. Our first panelist is the editor of the property section of the Inquirer. Tech Samaniego is the AVP for Special Projects and Supplements of the Philippine Daily Inquirer. She's been with the Inquirer since 2000 and began her writing career as a contributor for several sections, including Science and Health, Property, and Business. Since her appointment as property editor in 2016, Tech has introduced new themes, columns, and creative executions to provide more interesting and more comprehensive content for the section. So without further ado, please welcome Tech. Hi, Tech. Good afternoon.
Hi, Isa. Good afternoon, and thank you for that warm introduction. And welcome to all our viewers, all our panelists here. Well, as you know, the recent pandemic, the COVID-19, has brought a number of sectors into a halt. And one of those that was considered as affected was the real estate sector. But the good news, though, is that we're slowly getting back on track, taking off from a temporary halt brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic and the quarantine. As market spending was tempered by the crisis, construction activities were put on hold, launches were delayed, forecasts undoubtedly has to be reviewed and revised downward. But in all likelihood, it won't be long before we see a full recovery for the Philippine property sector. Because, as I would always say, home shouldn't just be one of your investment options, but rather it is a necessity. Again, I repeat, it is a necessity that you should work hard for from the time you start earning. The pandemic has shown us how important it is for us to have a home and communities that could actually serve as a sanctuary, your safe space amid all the unprecedented event that could come. No one was ready for the pandemic. That is a given. But the good thing is we have our homes, our sanctuary, our safe spaces to keep us sane. Okay? But I think the biggest challenge now lies on all our developer friends. Why, you may ask? Because this time the COVID-19 pandemic has actually tested their mettle, their capacities and capabilities as a provider of homes to actually ensure that what they're providing us investors and home buyers are ones that is actually fit for the modern era, one that could provide all the comfort and conveniences. Actually, there are those who took it upon themselves to immediately go back to the drawing table, implement innovative measures just to provide that so-called comfort and convenience, if only to ensure the safety of their residents, which I may say all of a sudden became the measure of their greatness and reputation as a valuable home developer. With COVID-19, comfort and convenience has never become as vital and life-changing as it is today. Convenience, I may say, is no longer just a luxury, but rather a well-meaning necessity that could spell one's survival. Today, one's notion of modern convenience is not just about a development being transit-oriented, but it has become actually, it should be a home located in a district that offers all access or unlimited access to key establishments, institutions, offices, and even business districts down to the essential shops and services, and even to retail, dining, and entertainment centers. Clearly, there are some communities that stood out during the pandemic. These are communities that were able to immediately provide the essentials and even non-essentials to their residents. These integrated communities or developments showcase and prove and put actual has provided actual proof to the word comfort and convenience and ease for its residents and neighboring communities. One developer I can proudly say who managed to accomplish all this is SMDC. SMDC is one of those developers whose residents were able to experience the kind of convenience one can only hope for while on quarantine. Given its synergies with the SM Group and affiliates such as SM Markets, Watsons, BDO, SMDC has clearly showed why it has remained a smart, practical home investment and a top-of-mind choice of everyone. And I think this, Isa, is the exact same kind of synergy that that can be enjoyed, for instance, at one of its latest projects, which is Light 2 Residences located along EDSA. Not only is it transit-oriented, but it has its own mall that houses all the essential stores for the residents' convenience. And this is on top of the fact that Light 2 Residence is, again, I repeat, it's highly accessible, it stands on a strategic central location, and as all SMDC project, it offers top-notch amenities and features. It's like actually living in a hotel. SM, as a pioneer of the integrated mall lifestyle experience, has once again proved during the pandemic why it actually deserves to be called the home of choice of individuals looking to do more and be more, and to have that actually very dynamic lifestyle. Through its developments, it managed to showcase the company's reliability and trustworthiness, especially in such situations like the COVID-19, by ensuring that its residents will have access to all their needs and maybe even more, and by extending a unique kind of convenience even to neighboring communities, not only to its residents, but across all the neighborhood where it is actually located. SMDC clearly became the model development which every individual would actually desire to live in. Of course, it should be noted that SMDC is a wholly owned residential developer of SM Prime Holdings Inc., which many of us know right now that it's one of the largest integrated property developers, not just in the Philippines, but across Southeast Asia. This means betting your money on a property like SMDC means putting your hard-earned savings on an established brand backed by a property giant. It's also worth noting that despite the unprecedented event, SMDC for the first 3 months of 2020 posted a 23% revenue growth. Again, despite the pandemic. So for the investors, I think this actually matters a lot. The fact that you were able to record 23% increase in your revenue. And I think this is the only real estate firm that has managed to do that. So again, I'm going to end this by saying that clearly there are some developers, one of which I think is SMDC, that can and will always provide you the perfect platform to do more and be more in this new era of the new normal and maybe even beyond. Again, thank you, Isa.
Thank you very, very much, Tech. Not only was that a very insightful overview of the property sector, but I love how you really broke it down that amidst, again, this situation we find ourselves in, there's a silver lining that everyone can start considering right now. And it's all started because of your overview. Thank you again very much for that, Tech. So more than ever, people need to know the real state of real estate to help you make smarter investment choices. Despite the challenging times like we heard from Tech, I'm sure you found enough reasons then to make your next property investment right about now. But in the meantime, our next speaker is a licensed Filipino architect who will now give us some pretty interesting ideas to help us create a safe space, a comfort zone, or a conducive workspace suitable in the new normal. Her ideas just might be what you need to make your home ready amid the pandemic and even beyond. Architect Victoria Lu Mawis Aliston has a professional master's degree in interior design of commercial spaces from the Instituto Europeo de Design in Barcelona, Spain. She received her bachelor's degree in architecture from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. She currently works for DSFN Architects and contributes regularly to the property section of the Philippine Daily Inquirer. She specializes in the fit out and design of interior spaces, and her project, Hibla Filipina, an integration of the Philippine pineapple cloth industry and 3 farm products, won her a scholarship in an international design competition. She believes that design is successful if it presents a unique, adaptive, and responsive solution to people's needs. So I hope you're ready to listen, because here is Architect Vit. Hi, Architect.
Hi Isa. Hello everyone. So thank you for that warm introduction. Thank you also to SMDC and the Philippine Daily Inquirer for inviting me to join this event. Despite the challenges that we face today, there's actually a lot of opportunities for us to grow and become better versions of ourselves in the new normal. In particular, when it comes to spatial design, many of the homes and apartments being offered in the market today are adjusting to the needs of social distancing and better health. So I'm quite excited to share with everyone the beautiful possibilities that await us in integrated lifestyle cities such as SMDC projects. Just give me a moment to share with you my screen. So have you been feeling the quarantine blues lately? Even with the restrictions in the new normal, now is actually the best time for us to discover our passions and awaken our zest for life. Do more, be more, by taking on new hobbies and goals to improve yourself. But how do you begin? If you're actually having difficulty rising up to the challenges that we are facing today, take comfort in the fact that you are not alone. The COVID-19 pandemic has turned many of our lives upside down. Suddenly, the simple things that we love to do have become dangerous. Many of us haven't ventured outside of our homes in fear of contracting the virus. Even if the quarantines are gradually being lifted, we feel stressed once more by the daily grind. Traffic, rain, and other external factors can certainly keep us down in the dumps too. In spite of the challenges, we have a lot to be thankful for nowadays. The quarantines have forced us to reassess our values in life and to spend more at home with our loved ones and our friends. Though it has been difficult for us, the pandemic has given us a chance to explore and appreciate the benefits of our communities. Our time at home has also allowed us to take a look at the environment and come up with ways to revitalize our homes to suit our lifestyles. Given our newfound insights, we now have the opportunity to reinvent and improve ourselves for the new normal. And we begin by making small but necessary changes to help us get back on track with daily life. One activity that many people have taken up nowadays is exercise at home. While others are fortunate to have their own gyms, some people have to make do with limited spaces. Thankfully, we have communities that allow us to pursue the path of wellness without having to travel far from where we live. For instance, the SMDC group provides a place for its residents to take a swim in its exclusive pool areas. The amenity floor is filled with lush vegetation and relaxing scenery to make you actually forget that you're in the middle of the city. Here, we see the amenities offered at their up-and-coming SMDC Light 2 residences. Another thing that you might have gotten more concerned about nowadays is getting access to good and filling food. In the new normal, dining out has radically changed due to requirements of social distancing and hygiene. While this may prove difficult to many, people who live in integrated lifestyle communities continue to have easy access to world-class amenities and restaurants. As an example, those who live in SM Light residences continue to have easy access to the grocery, pharmacy, and restaurants populating the building. SM Light 2 residences currently underway, more people will soon be able to enjoy the convenience and comfort of being close to shops and restaurants, offering some of the best services in town. The project becomes part of the SM Light complex, giving residents more dining and shopping options without having to leave the area. If you're more into home-cooked meals, however, living in a lifestyle city can still be beneficial for you as you can easily run to the grocery store for ingredients. With social distancing measures in place, you are assured of your safety and security inside your favorite groceries, such as SM Supermarket, Save More, and Alphamart. Having easy access to food essentials will allow you to try new recipes with your family. You can even organize a romantic date at home with your loved one in the new normal era. But if your main concern right now is self-care, the shops inside lifestyle malls provide you with personalized services. Salons, barbershops, and other service-oriented stores are gradually resuming operations in the new normal, with social distancing measures put into place for your protection. Despite our fears from the virus, living in integrated lifestyle communities allow you to take care of yourself and your family. When it comes to your homes, there are plenty of opportunities to refresh your living space amidst the new normal. This dress-up unit of SM Light 2, for instance, shows how you can make a condominium unit bright and airy with the right color combination and light fixtures. You can also spruce up your living units with an accent wall or vibrant wallpaper if you please. Or you can create green spaces within the confines of your balcony by growing your own urban garden, giving you additional source of food supply. Even a simple act of organizing your unit can already transform your limited space. But if you're into numerous hobbies and activities, go ahead and make your space flexible enough to easily transform into a dance studio or an artist haven. You can do this by installing temporary partitions or separating areas through color, height, or even floor patterns. To exemplify, here we use a rug to designate the sleeping area in a spacious open plan of SM Light residences too. So in an integrated lifestyle community, the world is in your hands. Despite the challenges of everyday living and the new normal, you can still be the best version of yourself and pursue your passions. A lifestyle city will give you access to various places where you can pursue health, wellness, fun, and relaxation, even in the era of the new normal. It will keep you safe not only from unnecessary contact, but also from urban troubles such as traffic, daily commute, and lack of access to the essentials. In addition, living in integrated communities allows us to maximize space in the urban jungle. Thus, it helps alleviate the problems of urban sprawl, pollution, and environmental degradation. If you want to do more, be more, seek out a lifestyle city. These places will allow you to grow and become a better version of yourself in the era of the new normal and beyond. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you guys will seize this time to do more, be more in the new future.
Definitely. Thank you very, very much, Architect Vit, for that wonderful presentation. I certainly hope our viewers picked up a lot of tips on how you can better use your spaces while adapting to this new normal. But I love in particular how Architect Vic actually highlighted the importance of convenience. Really, when it comes to living your life, doing more and being more, you have to admit, everything she pointed out is always streamlined with convenience at top of mind. Now, from an architect, we are about to hear now from a well-known interior designer. She is the respected influencer, an Inquirer Property Brand Ambassador. So really, she doesn't need further introductions because she practically is the life of anywhere she goes. Tessa Prieto Valdez has actually shown us how to positively and stylishly deal with the quarantine and the new normal. In her Instagram feed alone, one could actually see how she embodies the belief of doing more and being more, even while under quarantine. So let's hear from her. And I love where she is. Hi, Tessa.
Hello there, Isa. How are you?
Good,
Clearly,
and wishing, I
you know,
wish I was there with you.
it's already clearly my new normal. It's like my old normal. I refuse to, live as if, it's all negative and that the whole sentiment is of
Gloom and doom.
hopelessness
Yeah,
and
no.
doom. So
No.
I'm wearing all the colors of hope and progress. And I'm so
Right.
happy to be part. Thank you so much, Isa, for handling this webinar. It's like wonderful that, nice to hear that what Tech, my editor of Inquirer Property, said that SMDC actually reported a positive, what do you call that? When everything is like, business is so bad and like everyone's like just trying, it's just so hopeless. But now that there's always this new normal, there's always tension with what and how we're going to live after all this. It's still going to be a long time before everything goes back to like pre-COVID. And it's really a matter of, like you said, Isa, it's a matter of attitude. It's a matter of how to take things in your hand when it comes to security, when it comes to keeping your family safe, when it comes to making sure where you live, it's convenient. Like you said, everything nowadays, it's the convenience. And if you live in an integrated lifestyle community, which SMDC has really perfected, I was talking to you earlier, Isa, how they have sort of planned this as a future concept and sort of platform, and it's like they knew that this is the new way of the new direction it's supposed to go. Because like we were like saying earlier, why would you want to go outside if you just want to buy groceries for the day?
Yeah, like run an errand.
Yeah, do an errand, and then you'll have to risk yourself being exposed to others. Of course, you can contain yourself when it comes to face mask and where you've been, you actually know. But how about the people around you? How about the commute from going from one place to the other?
Yeah.
There's so many variables that can really
You cannot control.
And it's so difficult. So and then now that I realize that you can actually make it possible to live and shop and even now with restaurants, that you either eat home. After this whole thing, I'm so tired of eating in the house, diba? So parang
You still want a little variety to spice. I mean, Tessa, like I said, you're always the life of the party. You bring this positive energy anywhere you go. So you don't want to be contained. Of course, you love the safety of your home, but when you want to have an adventurous spirit or creative, even if it comes to something as simple as running your errands, like you said, convenience, and you don't have to go to a car, you don't have to commute, just go downstairs because it's right
exactly there. So just thinking about that and how SMDC plans their integrated residences. Before, a condo would just be a condo.
Yeah.
Maybe there was going to be like a bank in the ground floor because it's the retail, and that's it. But now, can you imagine, most of their development has everything already. They have like laundry, dry cleaners. They have like, of course, a convenience store. They have nails, which I want to do soon. And then, and then I heard there's also a little bit of shopping. And so now more than ever, time is the most, it's a luxury now, and we have it. You can't anymore say, na traffic ako, right?
Yeah.
All the meetings now are in your house. So it's very it's very nice to know that you have actually the option of living in a place that has all that convenience plus and safety as well. Because, of course, like now they're like saying, it's not good to walk around, but you need exercise. We need fresh air. In fact, they were like saying sunshine is the
Vitamin D, yeah.
vitamin
You
D.
need it. Yeah.
Yeah, right, Architect Vit. She said like, how will I remember your name? Oh, that's it, Vit for vitamin.
It's there.
Yeah. So, it's
Yeah,
nice that, even their development, yes, there are convenience stores, but there's a swimming pool, there's a lot of green area to just even the space around that you can actually do like a jog or a walk. So it's really nice, and it's very important that when you shop for a place to stay, now that you know how the new lifestyle is, it's
Yeah.
great that we have the option with SMDC.
I love that. Because share with us, Tessa, how you first felt. Again, when you were trying to avoid gloom and doom, but for someone like you, especially who has such a full social and corporate calendar,
Grabe. Alam
when
mo,
the word lockdown pa lang.
last year, I traveled so often that parang ubos na yung stamp sa passport ko. And
Pages,
diba,
wala na.
yung 10 years, wala na akong page. Kasi parang I love to travel, I love to shop. And for the first time, I've been in the Philippines, the longest. Yung parang, but you know what? As in me, I'm Miss Positive, right? So I always look for the silver lining. I always say, what's the purpose? I kind of lost my purpose in life because it's like
Things got too busy.
I was thinking, now that maybe the whole purpose of this is like, I'm going to be a full-time mom.
Oh, okay. I thought internalized. Kaya gumagano ako
No.
papasok. Back to me.
No. Full-time mom. Of course, my daughter, Athena's like, no, mom, please. So, now I've learned to value my time and focus on what really matters. What matters? Your home, your family, of course, and your time spent better. Meaning, you don't have to travel 2 hours to go to your meeting and come back. I mean, like in total. So if you think about it, if you live in a place where everything is in your convenience.
Available. Yeah.
Available now. Why do you have to look for a place that, the mall's far away? Of course, you still need to do the mall thing. But, for everyday necessities. Especially if you live in a condo, you can't really have a lot of space for, stocking up your pantry and stuff. And besides, it's always good to buy veggies the day itself. And, it's sort of, parang how people live now. Everything's also delivered as well, diba? So it's nice na you can still, but, in this lockdown, I'm super craving to shop.
You'll get there.
And according to Architect yesterday, when I spoke to her, she goes like, it's not only convenience stores and restaurants and drugstores and stuff. May
It's
shopping na
retail.
rin.
Yeah, it's retail.
Retail. I'm super needing retail therapy. Isa, it's like, oh my gosh. Well, of course, I'm so happy when I get my credit card bill. It's like zero. Never in my life. It's talagang wow. I mean, like, there's always the silver lining, But then, so nice that SM has retail shops. They told me.
Yeah.
So,
And it's open. And again, with regards to all these shops, be it convenience stores, retail shops, what's nice is, again, because they are under the SMDC umbrella, there are safety measures in place.
Correct.
It's controlled. It is mandated. Actually, not controlled. It's mandated to follow these certain procedures, not just for customers to walk in, but more so for residents, I should think. No?
Talk about that. Yes. Also, like I said, you can't control what other people are doing, right? But if you know that SM it's under umbrella, like, for example, Watson's. I miss Watson's, it's like everything. I even bought my hair color from there. So,
do it yourself.
Everything now is DIY, right?
Yeah.
So you want to go to a place to buy necessities, meaning yung necessities ko, nail polish, hair, lipstick, makeup, whatever.
That's self-care.
You want to go to a place that they take the protocols of safety. Like, because they know that, their business is online as well, right? Like you said earlier, one incident will kill the industry, not only them.
Yes.
See, so it's nice that that all the shops, SM's on top of that. So
So it's
so
really good. Again, so we're in line with the lifestyle. Because again, I loved how we got the overview from tech. And of course, architect Vic brought up how all these developments, especially under SMDC, is thinking of you, not just as a consumer, but you as a resident, you as a unit owner, right? That you can still keep living, again, do more, be more in this new normal instead of feeling trapped. So maybe a final message on that behalf, Tessa, because I'll never see you in a box. I'll never see you trapped. I'll never see you contained. So I really think you're the perfect lady. You're the perfect person to be talking about doing more and being more.
at this time, like I say, it's also, we really have to take care of our mental health as well. That's why if you live in a condo, it's so important that you at least go out and just walk around like the pool or something. But you have to at least get your space and come out of it, because now surveys are showing there's like people are dealing with depression, with anxiety, overeating. That's also a crisis, and so it's for now, it's like your whole mind, body, and soul. You need to, like, I think what I learned from my husband is like routine. Meaning you always, which is not me, because like I wake up like whatever, but then it's so important to have a routine, mainly because you can then incorporate all that you have to do, like have some physical activity, some bonding time with your children, now that if you have to homeschool or whatever, and then me time as well, and of course the husband time. So you get everything in a day, as if you are actually, it's like if actually it is a work day, because the people have a tendency.
Yeah,
Yes, because people have a tendency now, oh my gosh, parang work from home and dito lang ako sa bahay. Di ba? Ang hirap.
No, it's actually even more tiring because
It's
the
more
balance of the
tiring.
time, it really is. And next thing you know, the day is done and you're still not done with your tasks, because now you're actually balancing children and work, because you're like,
Yes.
wala nang line, di ba? But again, with the things that Architect Vic pointed out, with a smart use of space and all that, even you, Tessa, with the points you're bringing up right now, it's all about getting back to yourself inside here, be it your mind, your heart, your soul. All these will come into play so that you can do more and be more this new normal. In fact, Tessa, let's bring everybody back. I think it's nice that there's a discussion going. So ladies and gentlemen, let's bring back all our panelists today. She's already popped up. Hi again to our editor, Tex Samaniego, and our architect, Vit. Hi, welcome back. So nagkwentuhan na kami ni Tessa. We started things off already. And first and foremost, on top of convenience, I hope to hear from everybody. On top of convenience, what are the other distinct advantages of living in an integrated development here during the new normal? Tech or architect, who wants to take this first?
Vit?
Okay, architect Vit muna. Ang ganda ng slide ni architect.
Thank you. So from a designer's point of view, integrated lifestyle communities help with environmental and urban planning concerns. The fact that everything is concentrated in one area and that people don't have to travel far limits urban sprawl in our cities. So when we say urban sprawl, it's, for example, some of us want to live in suburbs, but at the same time, we have to access our work in the cities. So if we have to travel to and fro, this actually creates pollution and traffic, and it's unnecessary if we want to progress. So with SMDC projects like SM2, for example, it's actually, these urban problems are actually reduced. Therefore, if we choose to live in a lifestyle city, we don't only gain convenience, but we also help with our environment.
Nice tip. What about you, Tech? What do you have to say about this?
Actually, Isa, for me, it's quite simple. It's still convenience and the fact that it's transit-oriented. So meaning you will have the luxury of time, of having everything right within your reach. This is literally having everything within your reach, because you're just an elevator ride away from all the necessities and the essentials that you need to have that comfort, to have luxury. And the fact that it's transit oriented, it's connected to the MRT, and you're right across EDSA, meaning, I mean, for Light 2, you're right across EDSA, or in other SMDC projects, let's say the ones located in MOA, I mean, you can't match confidence. You can't buy convenience. And given the pandemic right now, with all the health scare that we have, I
Yeah.
think what you would want is to make sure that your family will always be safe, but at the same time can still enjoy those little luxuries that you used to enjoy pre-COVID. So I think that's just one of the many perks of living in an integrated community.
How about from an investor's point of view or an investor's perspective, Tech? Like even renting out your units, perhaps? Because again, let's not just think of people living there. Let's not forget, you brought it up. It's an investment opportunity.
Yeah, actually, you invest for two reasons. One is for you to earn, or the other is one for you to have something to leave behind. So if I'm gonna buy a space, let's say I only have budget for one investment, of course I would go for an investment that I know would give me good returns. And what makes a good returns? I mean, if I'm gonna rent out my unit, and if I will be the renter, I would rent a space that would provide me that same convenience, that same comfort that I need. So technically, if you invest in a property, let's say like SMDC, which has all the necessities, the so-called essentials and non-essentials, if I were to rent a place, I would want to reside in that kind of development rather than having a standalone unit, or I mean a standalone and not a mixed-use integrated development. In fact, there is this one story that was told by a friend. One of them lives in an SMDC community, an SMDC development, and then her parents were actually living in another condo developer.
Okay.
What they do was that they had to shop for their parents because they're both seniors, and the community where their parents were located, it doesn't have that supermarket, a grocery, or Watsons, or even a. So they were saying that before we thought it was just lip service when you say comfort, convenience, but now because of the pandemic, they've actually realized the value. I
Of
mean,
integrated developments. That having, again, Tessa pointed it all out also, besides architect. She's like, I want to go to Watson's. I want to fix my hair today. Again, simple matters like those matter. They really
You
do.
know, me naman, I'm thinking, you know how now there's like students and you know, so I'm looking at these SMDC condos as halfway houses, meaning now meaning sometimes they give it for you know, the parents buy it for their daughters, which they eventually will give it to them, diba? Parang as like Tech said, something that you leave behind. And so now what they're using it is like, because it's convenient, and then they don't have to commute, like they have to go to school or to work, and then they just go home to their house, whether it's
During the weekends, or
during the weekend, which now is a sort of a trend, especially for, and then they can have like a group of friends to stay or rent, or, you know, because now, again, you have to protect yourself. Now it's like, not everybody has the ability to work or can do work from home, correct? I mean, some now really have to go back to work.
Yeah.
And so, meaning they need to commute, they need to have that exposure. So if you live somewhere, not the one really far from work, but that you are there in that space, that, you know, your exposure to the elements is less. So that's, I think, for me, the very important consideration when you invest in a property, that you have that. And again, like Tech said, it's an investment, meaning you buy something. And I can say that a lot of my friends have bought condos, and that they buy condos for the number of children they have, because it's a good size enough that they can afford also to, I mean, like, you know, I mean, like now they have 2 or 3. Kung there are 4 or 5 kids behind me, it's like 2 kids share one condo. But, you know, because it appreciates. All I can say that all of SMDC's properties and units have sort of not naman doubled, but they have appreciated. So parang in the second sale na, parang meaning if just in case they need to sell it or you know, or rent it out, it has appreciated already. Property always appreciates, whether there's a pandemic or not.
Nice.
Because, you know, it's good. So it's what they call land bank, right? You put your money in a property.
Nice points on that, Tech. Yes, Tech, you wanted to add?
If I may just add, when you invest, kasi there are two things that you need to look for. One is that, especially for a property investment, number one, is it backed by a reliable and trustworthy developer?
Brand. Yeah.
You need to check their track record, because that's number one. What if it's hard-earned money that you're putting into. It's not a 50 peso purchase. It's 5 millions. So it has to be backed by a very, very reliable developer. There are a number of ghost stories where you have parang mga fly-by-night developers. So that's number one. It's a lifetime investment. So you have to make sure that you go for a developer that has a very good track record. Second, you invest on something that you know would earn you double. You're not gonna bet your money naman if you know that you're gonna lose. So what's your guarantee of earning? Your property is centrally located. It has all the necessary conveniences. It has top-of-the-line amenities. So, you have all the reasons to be, that's enough guarantee that this investment will actually double over time. And you can actually check the track record of SMDC. When it comes to yung, investment, I think they're one of the best bets right now in the industry.
Wow, nicely said, Tech. Before I move on to the next question, something about what Tessa said about being a halfway house, kumbaga. I'm thinking in terms of the new normal. And if you do have to go to work, commute to work because your home is far, guess what? It can also be a quarantine space.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's right.
Especially because the thing is, you don't want to go, especially what if your parents are already seniors, right? So besides that convenience, you really are also safeguarding your family. And in the end, it's just a matter of cleaning up your space, making sure you fumigate, you clean it out, disinfect. So it's also nice. I just thought of that. Parang it's also quarantine space. That's definitely,
also now I think people are of course that's a good point that you made. Your parents are seniors already, and that you need to make sure that you can control your own space, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so every time you go out, you're looking at like you're going to the battlefield.
Yes,
right?
that's true.
And
You're going to war.
You want to make sure na your space, nasa barracks na lahat yung mga stuff. So you don't need to wear PPE pa and you know all that thing. You can, of course, you can just wear a mask and maybe goggles, but you don't have to like parang, oh my gosh. It's more the fear, I think.
Yeah.
It's
Be smart about it. Be smart about it.
It's
Yeah.
the convenience and everything, but the fear of what's out there, right? So at least it's when in your mind that you feel secure. It's such a good feeling, especially now. Now it's so hard to be, of course, biased to some people you have to make sure you don't know where they came from or
true. That's true.
And whether they've been tested or not. So you can only control what you have in your space. And with living in an integrated home like SMDC, you're so
manageable. Yeah.
You're so secured. It's a security issue.
True.
It's very important now to have that security issue.
I like that. It is also a manageable space, right? So thank you, by the way. Someone said, Jennifer Pamis, thank you for an awesome webinar like this. I feel more positive regarding the situation. We're just getting started. We're practically almost halfway done pa lang at this point. So now that we said again how it is a prime example, how it can be a good investment, distinct advantage, integrated developments, let's bring it closer to home. What makes light residences a prime example of an integrated development? I know it was Architect Bit who took us through the slide. So Architect, would you like to highlight this part again? What makes light residences a prime example of living, of doing more and being more, like what Tessa made cuento?
So the great thing about SM Light Residences is that different aspects of the city are within your reach. So retail shops, offices, and even an MRT station are all close by. So in the case of Miss Tessa, you can go shopping even if, like now we're in quarantine, even if you don't have immediate access to other cities, you can do everything right
Just go
in your
downstairs.
community. Yeah, just
Yeah.
go downstairs. So this exemplifies the ideal model of the urban community where travel, pollution, and other city challenges are eliminated. So that's what makes SM Light really a good example of an integrated development.
So challenges. Oh
Can I
yeah, yes,
ask
Tessa.
something
Yes.
to architect
Architect Vic.
Vic?
Sure.
So what else do you have? Of course, from the convenience stores and the shopping.
Retail.
And you have my therapy. But you have, I know you have a fantastic pool as well, right?
Yeah.
What are the common areas, spaces, and amenities do you have that you can share with us?
So you're talking to a very active lady.
Correct.
That's
you
all
know?
about. That's why she's the great shape that she is.
I'll share a personal experience because before I got married, I used to live in an SMDC property in Makati. So what I think that from all the projects of SMDC I've seen, so they have a pool, they have a gym, and for me, in my case, I work in the city, so I always need to take a break from all the stress at work. So sometimes, I just go to the amenity floor, I walk around, I what do you call it? I meditate, I think about what happened throughout the day. So that's what's great about this. And I'm sure SMDC Light 2 will offer that in a much more responsive design to the new normal. So personally, I really love the fact that SMDC responds not only to our physical but also to our mental and spiritual needs.
Architect, sorry, before that, I did see a question earlier. Is there going to be a bridge between
Yeah,
Light 1
yeah.
and Light 2?
They're
A
planning
bridge?
to connect the two so that if you live in one tower, you can easily transfer to the other one without even having to exit the complex.
Yeah, Monica Banyes nga is so excited for Light 2. She was just saying. There's a bunch more questions here, but let me. And yeah, Tessa, you want to add anything to this or Tech about
Yes.
integrated developments?
So,
Yes.
Architect Vit, I'm sure, like in all of SMDCs, take us through the protocols that you have put, like when you come into the residence, and like what do they
there you
do? How do they check? I mean, like, are they required to take the temperature? I mean, like, I'm sure, like, you just can you just run us through on how you have been doing all the protocols?
Okay. Actually, before the pandemic, they've already been strict about security in SMDC residences. So we have these RFIDs. So only residences can enter the residential towers. Yeah. And access the amenity floors. So with the new normal, they have given the guards like the temperature sensors and also the foot mat paths that allow us to clean ourselves first before entering the building. And
what do you mean by clean yourselves? Sorry.
like you have to sanitize
Wash.
yourself. Yeah. Like alcohol, and you have to clean your shoes.
Take a shower there in the
No, not necessarily.
I wouldn't be surprised. What if later on that's part of integrated living? You never know.
Yeah,
Diba?
yeah.
You never know.
And
That's an
personally,
idea.
yeah. Personally, I'm scared of using the elevators in buildings because, of course, everyone uses them. And right now, exposure to different kinds of people is something that we want to limit. But in an SMDC project, like the one where I used to live in, they really take it upon themselves to clean the elevators always,
That's good.
and to like designate markers on the floor so that people can maintain a safe social distance. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's
or
great
you know
about
what? You
SM.
should get one of those, parang it's a gadget that you press, but you won't like use your fingers.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it's like because it needs, although you can't use anything metal because it needs, I don't know, I don't know what. But
Your advice to use
the elbow.
Yeah, like especially for elevators, because syempre, use of hands to touch surfaces are really as much as possible if you can avoid it. Because hands, you can touch your face.
But your elevator, if your floor is really high, hindi mo abot ng elbow.
You're so cute. Okay. So wait. Si Tech.
Ganyan,
Guys,
ganyan, ganyan.
ladies, architect with Tessa. Si Tech naman. Tech, anything you want to say about what makes Light Residences a prime example of an integrated development? I love how architect Bit already also mentioned the commute, Tessa about the retail shops, and again, safety measures. She even asked that question for me. So how about you, Tech?
Isa, we have to remember that before, pre-COVID, two of the main selling points of every developer would be the talk of comfort, convenience, and it being a transit-oriented. Now, there are some projects who would claim and tell you that they afford convenience and comfort to their residents. But when you look at the amenity area or you look at the different features, it lacks so many things. But with an SMDC project, this I can always say. If you go to Light 2, as soon as it's completed, it has the biggest retail area. So that's perfect for
Tessa, tuwan-tuwa na.
Perfect for Tessa.
Light 1, and then you have another one in Light 2. So you have the biggest retail area in a residential development. And then number 2, you have the luxury of commuting using the MRT or the LRT, or you can easily access EDSA and go from end to end. So
Yeah, that's true.
I think this is what makes Light 2 a very good investment right now. And I think it's also best for as a halfway house. I think Ms. Tessa was right in saying that it's a perfect halfway house, especially for those not wanting to take longer commutes. And it's also, I think, your best gift that you can give to your parents as soon as you're working. It's time to give back. I've seen a number of retirees actually opting to get a unit at SMDC. I know two friends who actually gifted their parents units at the SMDC because they
Oh,
were
how nice. So it's not the parents
wonderful.
giving, it's the children
Children
giving the
giving.
parents. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
I think that's a
Oh,
great
that's
idea.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, Light has a cinema. It has a cinema component. So they were saying that their parents can just easily go down, watch a movie, and then have a quick lunch, and then go back to their units or to the amenity area, and just while away time and take a stroll. That's what's good about, I think, this integrated projects.
And
Wonderful.
libre pa yung cinema, di ba? Aren't senior citizens free in the
Yeah.
movie house?
That's something, pero hindi pa nagbubukas. Okay, wait guys, hindi pa nagbubukas ang
Okay,
cinemas at this point. But should it? Perfect nga yun. If you think of your senior citizen parents.
If and when.
Yeah, if and when. You can't say they'll be bored. Diba? That's definitely something you at least assure them. There's stuff for them to do as well. I have another question because again, we're so enthusiastic about this, thinking about integrated developments. Do you think integrated developments then is a trend in the industry, or is it here to stay post-COVID and all that? Whether or not we find a vaccine, are integrated developments here to stay, or is it just a fad? Who wants to take this one?
For me, I think personally, it's here to stay. We are all creatures of comfort. No matter what you say, we want to have everything within our reach. In fact, can you imagine your weekends that you still have to go long drives just to be able to get what you need? But imagine you being just an elevator ride away from your grocery, from all your essentials. So I think this kind of developments are actually here to stay, with COVID or without COVID, because the luxury and the convenience that it affords every resident. I think that is something that we should all look into. In fact, may I just mention that while other developers are busy going back to the drawing table and redoing their design, I think SMDC has already perfected the blueprint for these integrated developments. It's not just for the pandemic, but it's actually for the comfort. In fact, in doing this, SMDC, I think, is actually doing a great service to the Filipino people, because now they are able to enjoy these little conveniences, these little luxuries. Never has housing been more this sulit. That's the term. It's really sulit. If you buy
Sulit.
because can you imagine going down to Watson's just to buy all your makeup essentials and your hygiene essentials?
Tech, there's a comment. Dolores Rosario da Costa. It's also what retirees like to have for their periodic maintenance checkups.
Yeah, because
Correct.
you have parang mga satellite clinics
Mm-mm.
within their building. So you see, this is really ideal, not just for the newlyweds or startup families, but even
No.
actually for me, integrated communities are best suited for our seniors. Because I mean, you have their clinics, you have banks, everything that they need. And I think at that age, they deserve all the comfort and convenience that they can have.
Yeah, don't hassle. But you know what? I don't, not just for seniors, it's for everyone. I mean, I can imagine myself as a college student again, diba? Na, because for someone like I'm starting out, I also like to feel I'm learning my independence. But ko naman pahihirapan sarili ko? Diba? I mean, I'll also learn the works, right? So, sorry, Tessa, yeah. How about you, Tessa?
Yeah, you're right. It's like SMDC, I was like saying earlier, they're like ahead of the curve because they have already had this blueprint already even before this pandemic. It's like they kind of knew. Not the one like how strange, but you know, now everyone's now it's like everyone's copying them. It's like me, and when somebody says they put a hat on, they're gonna look like that. So like now that you know SMDC has that integrated already from the start, now every other development is like, I copy lang kayo, right? And why change something that they have been perfected already, you know? And because they know, because they also have other, under umbrella, other companies, so they kind of know, they have studied their clients and their customers and their, so they know that they need this, that. I mean, like, it's sort of a template already. It's covered already. So now that I know that even me, I'm covered with my retail therapy, and now that it was just because of the COVID, it just reaffirmed that this the projects that they have is what it is. So meaning it's not, it's not a trend. Definitely.
It's here to stay.
It's something that, that SMDC is thinking of the end customer. Not because technically they can just make everything condos. And then, because if you do retail space, of course, there's like open spaces that they have to pay for, And so it's nice that, they think about who is going to live there.
Nice, nicely said. How about, let's hear from the architect. Because speaking of trends, this is her field after all. Architect Vit, is this a trend? Or we've heard it from the consumer end, be it from Tech and Tessa. But what about from the architecture end, from the developer end? I mean, you're the ones building this.
Okay,
so
from the designer's point of view,
yeah.
Actually, integrated developments have been around for a while already. So, for example, the MOA complex and SMC side Cebu were built already a few years back, but they continue to attract a lot of residents and visitors. I think this actually proves that it's not a trend. It's not something that just occurred right now. This has been going on for a while in the case of SMDC developments. And I think with like residences too, it proves that it's here to stay. So integrated developments are here to stay because they're actually responsive to everything that we need. And as mentioned before by Tech and Tessa, not only do newlyweds nor new families get to experience and to get their essentials, but also senior citizens, college students, and everyone can live in an SMDC community and be happy. And that's what's great about it. So yeah, I think this is not a trend. It's here
to stay.
Here for a while. Yeah, here to stay.
Nice, nicely put. So, you know what? Can you believe that's actually the meat of our webinar today? More than your individual presentations, I loved how our gathering in this discussion really has been a great one, informative, helpful, and undeniably inspiring. Tessa, again, from everybody here from the comment section, everyone has been saying, thank you to this panel, thank you to this webinar, because now I feel more positive. I saw a couple of that in the chat box. In fact, here, Myra was just saying, nice discussion, very informative indeed. Thank you very, very much. So before I let our panelists go, closing messages, please. Let's close it all in a good light, because it's been beyond information. It's really about encouraging everyone. You can do more, you can be more. So I want to start with Tech. Tech, how do you want to say goodbye?
Well, to all our viewers, I just want to say that number one, we are a resilient people. So no matter what happens, we will be able to get through this. Number two is that I think you should really start considering or thinking about your future on investing on your future. I mean, there is no perfect developer. I mean, everybody can lay claim that I'm the best, I'm number one, I can do this, I can do that for you. But two things to remember. Number one, put your money on a trusted, reliable property developer. You try to look beyond the offerings. I mean, the low down payments, the different schemes. I mean, just try to look and review their track record. Number two, go for a developer who can really deliver, meaning providing all the necessities when they claim that we'll provide this kind of amenity area. Make sure to visit their projects, make sure to go there and look for your and look at it. I mean, to really look and have a feel of the place. So, and then last is that this is a personal appeal to everyone. I mean, to all my developer friends, let's continue creating integrated communities like SMDC because it affords a different kind of comfort and convenience to our home buyers. And of course, to our home buyers, I ask you to continuously stay positive. I mean, we have been through a lot already. And one thing I'm sure of is that we will be able to get through this with our family right here with us, with a safe, convenient home to live into. There's nothing that we cannot achieve. There's nothing that we cannot overcome. So again, a pleasant afternoon to everyone. And thank you, Isa. Thank you, SMDC. Thank you, Ms. Tessa. Thank you, Vit, for this wonderful afternoon full of positivity. Have a safe day, everyone.
Thank you for that, Tech. Thank you. Let's go to Architect Vic. You know I was going to get you last, right, Tessa? I'm going to end with you. But Architect Vic, after Tech's wonderful last message, how about you?
Okay, so with the things that we've discussed today, I hope that everyone will be inspired to pursue their passions even in the pandemic era. So
Yes.
while in quarantine, it doesn't mean that you have to stop exercising or doing your hobby. In fact, this is actually the perfect opportunity for you to pursue your hobbies because you have the time. So while we have to continue protecting ourselves from the COVID-19 virus, we can still go on about our daily lives inside integrated lifestyle developments. These communities are geared towards providing the essentials and the opportunities to allow us to do more and be more in the new normal. So go ahead, don't be afraid, take the plunge, and discover the joy of living in an integrated lifestyle city like SMDC's project.
Thank you very much for that, Architect Vit. Speaking of someone who will never stop pursuing her passions, here she is, Tessa. Last words, please, Tessa.
Parang as I take my final walk down from my coronation, how cute naman. Architect Vic, I heard I'm gonna pursue my hobbies. Yung pala, yung hobby ko sa asawa ko. Okay, it's nice for me. Of course, I always have this like, what are the 3 takeaways of this webinar and everything? I think, okay, number 1 is really, you have now the time to reassess and reset your life. You have no one to blame anymore from now on. You can't say, oh, kasi work, kasi ganyan, You have to take things in your hand and you have to take the necessary because whatever, everybody's already doing that thing. It's a face mask and everything. But now you have to reassess and what you want to focus on and prioritize in your life. Okay. Now it's like never ever will you have this time again because
True.
now it's like oh, I can't do this because of work. I can't do that, whatever. So, you have no more excuse. You can't say traffic, whatever. No more excuse. So that's one. The second is you have to take care of your mental health. Of course, like Architect Vic said, every day exercise, but you just don't realize that the mental health is now under stress because we're humans. We are sociable people. Well, maybe I'm extra sociable, but everyone, I mean, there's such a thing as, Zoom fatigue. Parang after a while, we need communication. And I guess
We need
now
energy.
we need
This
energy.
exchange of energy, yeah.
Nakakapagod rin yung parang like this, So now, maybe you can start with your family. It's a good time then to bond and everything. So that one. And then the third is, so you take care of your mental health. And then the third is, don't think that your life before was perfect already. Of course, yes, you want to go back to that thing. And, now the new normal doesn't have to be far from what you were. I mean, it's just an improvement. That's what it is. So think of na lang all the yes, you need to stay positive. So just think about what you think, how you can improve on whatever you're doing, whether you shop more or something, So now really take time to like find out what your purpose in life is. How deep, but
That's true,
your purpose
though.
in life is to live in an SMDC condo.
Integrated development at that. Thank you. Tessa, again, Texa Maniego, Architect Tessa, thank you very, very much. Everyone saying thank you for your messages. Everyone saying thank you for this webinar. Good discussions indeed. So ladies and gentlemen, this wraps up our webinar today. Thank you again to all of our panelists for sharing their time, insights, and expertise with all of us. Thank you also to the property section of the Philippine Daily Inquirer and SMDC for hosting this webinar. I'm Isa Liton. Thank you again. Good day to you all. And as everyone's saying in the chat box, be safe. Bye, everybody. Happy weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Isa. Smile, Isa. I'm taking your
Yeah, okay.
picture. Hey, Tag. Hey, Architect. Okay. Have a
Approved.
weekend,
Bye, everyone.
all.
Happy weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Isa. Thanks, Vit.
Live a life that is closer to more that you need, to more that